What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. 2 days in a row. How's it going today, Casito?
It's going pretty good. Feel pretty great. Yourself?
Oh, I feel fantastic. My voice is now fully all the way back, so that's good. Finally. Even though I do still just get random moments where I just start choking on my dry throat. So that'll be fun to watch for during the show. But yeah, just getting back into the swing of things. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
you
you know
ready?
what? Before we hop into football, we've got some exciting news. It is that time
Exciting
of
news.
year that it's almost October, and I'm very excited because that's when all the sports start really happening. You have
It's
playoff
true.
baseball right around the corner, which I'm super excited for, and hopefully my Red Sox can make the postseason. There's like a battle between 6 teams to make the postseason right now, with like 4 games left. I'm really excited for that. Baseball's right around the corner. I just love it. I love the postseason baseball. It's so much more fun to watch. Even the casual fan watches postseason baseball just because it's the do or die. It's just fun. Speaking of, we got postseason. We already have the postseason going on for the WNBA. Our Las Vegas Aces are still in it. We're in 2 semifinals right now. Both series tied 1-1. You got the Aces versus the Indiana Fever. Then you got the Minnesota Lynx versus the Phoenix Mercury. Have you watched any of it? And you can totally say no. That's fine. I just know it's been on TV.
Yeah, no, I watch it at work because there's nothing else on. Even though yesterday I did watch, I believe it was Cubs and Mets, which was a
Mm-hmm.
really good game.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
What I've liked about the WNBA series is that first round, every single game came down to like the last shot in every series, which was really fun. Just as a sports fan, men's, women's, whatever, that's entertaining. That's something that you're like, okay, I need to kind of stop what I'm doing. There's one play to see which team goes, which team doesn't situation, which is always fun. NBA is right around the corner. That's about to get going. Hockey, they've already started preseason for hockey. Have the NBA started doing their preseason?
I was just looking at that. No, I
I
believe
haven't seen. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't seen anything
they start October 2nd.
for the preseason. Nice.
Yeah.
This year in the NHL, they've done an extended preseason, which I don't know how I feel about that, especially since hockey people get injured real fast. I mean, you're playing on ice with blades. I mean, it's just a thing. But yeah, no, this is my favorite time of the year, man. Football is now getting in full swing. October, the weather's getting nicer here in Vegas. We get that 2 weeks of a fall, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um, but no, I'm very excited. October is probably my favorite month. And it's not even because I don't really Halloween's not my jam. I know some people love Halloween. I don't dislike it, but I like it because it is sports and the weather's getting nicer. It's fall. I'm happy. That's how I'm doing today. I am happy. There's so much going on in sports right now, and I love every second of it.
Yeah, it's also October is also the month I got married, October 2nd.
Oh
So
yeah, it
shout
was,
out to my
wasn't it? I
wife.
was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm gonna try doing something on the movie channel that I also do. William J.R. Wilson, go follow me.
Yeah, he's pretty
But
good. He knows what he's doing. He might have a degree in it. I'm just saying.
thank you so much. And
You're
that
welcome.
explains why I'm a bartender doing a sports podcast. but I'm going to try to do this thing where every day in October, I upload a video of me talking about a different horror movie. So it's going to be an exercise to see if I can consistently
Little bit of
put a video of that.
what is going to be the first one, just to kind of get people engaged?
Well, I already have a theme. The theme for all of October, obviously scary movies, it's going to be a new zombie movie every day for 31 days in a row. First movie, you have to start with Night of the Living Dead.
You have to.
Second, you have to start with Shaun of the Dead. So those are going to be the first two.
Shaun
Shaun
of
of
the
the
Dead, one
Dead,
of the greatest movies ever made.
I think it's in my top 10. I
Dude, it
absolutely
is so
love that movie.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are just goddamn geniuses. I just rewatched that movie, Paul. I know it wasn't great, but I still enjoyed it because I liked their humor, and
Yeah.
it's just good. It's good.
Well,
But I think
The
Shaun of the Dead is one of the greatest ever. Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead,
Dude, I
and
was gonna say, the only movie that might be funnier than Shaun of the Dead is Hot Fuzz.
it's
Hot
so
Fuzz is really
it's
good.
so funny.
And then I'll tell you what, I don't mind World's End.
Nick Frost's character in all of the show or in all the movies are really funny, but he is something special in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. And then of so that's obviously the Cornetto trilogy. The third one, World's End, might have my favorite joke in all three of the movies, where it's just I can't remember his name, but it's the guy who was in The Hobbit. He was
Yeah,
in The Office, you know his who I'm talking about. Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
And he has that thing where he just keeps saying WTF. And when they get in the fight with the robots at the bar, he just goes WTF. And then Simon Pegg just goes, "What the fuck does that even mean?" That's my favorite joke in all three of those movies.
So
That,
good.
but yeah, so movie channel, head over to that. Also, Casino, because we're heading into October, it's gonna be the return of Casino's Corner. And
Ooh,
that means spooky, like we did last year. Maybe my favorite thing we do
spooky,
on the
spooky
show.
sports that nobody cares about.
Yeah. But before we get into October, actually, we will have two more shows before we get into October. October starts a week from today. So there you go.
Nice.
But before we get into October, we have to finish up September. And week 4 starts tomorrow night in the
Mhm.
NFL. So it is time, Casino, for I should have had this pulled up, but I say that every time. It is time for week 4, the good, the mid, and the ugly. I'm doing a theme. It's Cowboys. It's Old West. I might switch to Pirates. You know how much I love Pirates,
I do
or
like dude,
maybe
Pirates are great.
they're not enough
Okay, don't
pirate
don't get
movies
me
as far as I'm
going. I mean,
concerned.
you and I both have the same view on Pirates. It's great. There's great shows out there. You and I, one of our
Black
favorite shows,
Sails.
dude, one of the best. Black Sails, phenomenal. I
It's really
really
good.
need to join your TV and film cat, like just do it as some cameos
Uh,
because I could talk movies with you all day
we
and
will.
TV shows all day.
I'm setting
Again,
it up. I'm
Black
setting it up.
Sails, one of the best endings to a series ever.
And also one of the most disgusting and brutal torture scenes I've ever seen in
Oh,
anything in my life.
100%.
That's one of the grossest
100%.
things I've ever seen. For
Yeah.
people also, people who have seen the show, you already know what we're talking about. You already know. It's giving me goosebumps or whatever. For anybody
Yeah.
who hasn't watched it, I will not spoil it because the
Yeah.
first time I saw it, I was like, I cannot believe they're doing this. This is
Well, that's a real
disgusting.
torture thing that they used to do,
I
which is
know.
gross.
It's
Uh, well, before we get into our picks, I know we're still stalling here. We're 10 minutes in almost. Fun fantasy update. Play my wife this week.
Mm.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you a
A
really
house
funny story.
divided.
I think I may have said this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I said, but when I was at work, my coworker asked me, the Bears fan, he asked me, what week is it when I play my wife? I told him like week 4, and then we were talking about that. And then I didn't, I wasn't even like focused on the guests around, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat my wife. Just like I just like yell it, and I was like, fantasy football, everybody. And like I just like without hesitation, with no filter, I just was, yeah, I'm gonna beat the living hell out of my wife or something like that. It was
And
really great.
and still, there were some people who were just like, yeah, fantasy football.
Yeah,
Sure,
fantasy
sure.
football. Like, yeah, that's what you meant. But yeah, I do play her this week. I'm excited. We're gonna have a good Sunday. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Now,
really fun.
speaking of fantasy
We're both
football,
2-1. We're both 2-1 right now.
that's what I wanted to say. So, by all accounts, Casino, I should be 3-0, but I
Mhm.
am also 2-1 because of some controversy in my league that I would love to
Ooh,
share on this podcast.
yeah.
So, if we remember, what is it? I sent the screenshot to you where,
Yep.
and I believe I showed it
Oh,
on
did
the
they
show.
change it?
So, in the screenshot that I'm going to pull up right here, we know that I won. If you listen to the show, we know that I won by less than a point,
A
or
point.
like a point and
No, it was less
point,
than a point.
whatever. So, and I can pull it up right here. So I won for those watching that's not it, one by one less than a point, basically.
Mhm.
And I won 131.48 to
You won by point eight
130.60.
eight. No, wait,
So
point
it
eight
doesn't
two.
matter. Yeah.
9-1,
So
9-2.
after that week, and again, this was after week 2, that's why it says week 2 matchup. After week 2, the commissioner in our little group chat we have for this football chat posted in the group chat, and I will find this right here. He said,
Illusion.
not sure how or why, but passing touchdowns somehow got changed to only 4 points. After this week is over and the Monday night games are done, I'm going to change it back to the default 6 points per passing touchdown. So then he said, obviously, it's fixed and it should retroactively like adjust for all the games that have been played in the first 2 weeks. So then the score dipped from me going up to 135.48, where obviously we just saw I had 131.48, and my opponent got an extra 8 points because Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdowns against the Cleveland Browns. So I ended up losing that game by 4 points instead of winning it by
You know
one
what?
point.
I should check into that. I mean, I thought mine was 6 for touchdown, but maybe it's 4 for the QBs. But I'll check into
Yeah.
that. I won't change it. I'll just let it be how it is. I don't wanna cause issues like this. The reason I'm 2-1, the person I played, my buddy Corey, you've met him, the guy that painted his toenails and wore flip-flops at my wedding.
Yeah. I
Yeah, love
remember.
him. It was great. That was fantastic. But he did match the colors, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So he's a dinosaur. I say that with love. He's almost 40, and when we did the draft, he just picked all old veteran players. He's like, I don't know who any of these guys are. This is his first time getting back into NFL after like 4 years. He was diehard, but then he started on his career and like really focusing on this and that. So he hasn't really watched much football. Plus, he's a Seahawks fan, so I mean, he started crying after a while. Um, but he's three. He's the only one 3-0 in our league right now, and boy, is he letting me know, and it's pissing me off. And then, oh no, he's not. He was about to be the only 3-0, but his lady, she's also 3-0, and I can't stand it because I don't like her team. I don't think it's a good team. She's somehow winning. So they're both 3-0, and then me and my wife are 2-1 with two others now. Really, really pissed off here. And they've been letting us know. And there's three people I want to beat on this fantasy league. Obviously, my wife. I don't want my wife to beat me in fantasy. Just I
Obviously.
don't want
Yeah.
that. My friend Sam, who I've known pretty much almost as long as I've known my buddy Corey. And I want to beat him because he's the biggest shit talker ever, and he will just send you the most random trades. Like he'll just try to bait you into actually clicking the wrong button. So I want to beat him because he just talks too much shit, and he's a Green Bay fan. So,
Mm.
And then the other person is my friend's lady Abby. I need to beat her. She's the most competitive. There's board games that we will not play together anymore because we go at it so hard, and I can't stand her cocky attitude. And I hope she watches this, and I'm going to tell her to watch this, and she knows what I'm talking about. I love you, but thank you for being the babysitter to my kids all the time, and you're great. But no, I got to beat her. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into our picks this week. What do you think?
Uh, well, before that,
Nope.
Casino, we're still in the fantasy freak off. And uh I will say, what is it this week? Even though I got the bad beat from week 2 where I ended up losing, I ended up winning week 3. The football
Because of that.
gods blessed me with a win, but they blessed me with a win, and my 3 best performing players were all on my bench, and I still won.
Mm.
So that's crazy. And then also, what is it? I was able to pick up in heading into last week, I was able to pick up Scadaboo and Judkins from
How
the
the
waivers.
hell were you able to pick up both of them?
because somebody in my league, well, I grabbed Judkins when he was still injured, and I've been stashing him since week 2. So then he had that breakout game last week, and I was like, thank God I did that because I needed running backs. Scattaboo, I do not know what happened. Somebody just needed a starting quarterback or tight end or whatever and dropped him. And then I think we're waiting to pick him back up. And then I immediately grabbed him and was first one on waivers. So he was mine. So my money team, my main team that I'm now 2-1, now has Scattaboo and Judkins along with my already should be 3-0 team. But heading into this week, yeah, I have too many wide receivers and uh running backs, which is a good problem to have.
You want
It's
what's
a good
crazy?
problem to
I
have.
have 3 Browns players on my team.
See, I told you I had a lot of Jaguars and Colts players, but again, the
The
Colts
Colts players are
players,
great. Yeah.
before the season, I was like, oh no, I have all these Colts players. Well, it turns out the Colts players are really good. So that was, again, I might win in this league for the first time
Yeah.
in 4 years.
Yeah,
So
my running back game, I have Ford and Sampson, and I need to figure out what I'm doing there. Aaron Jones, he's on IR, and then that is pretty much it. I just gotta hope and pray that Josh Jacobs and Jamar Gibbs they do not get hurt. I'm finding the receiver game because I have Devontae Smith and Shakir and Worthy all on my bench. So I'm doing okay there. I need some running backs.
well, now the question is, I'm thinking if Atlanta's not going to be good, if Jacksonville with Brian
Hmm.
Thomas Jr. is going to be weird, I'm seeing if I might want to package one of these extra running backs with one of those wide receivers to get like a really good wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to try to scope out for maybe a team that's 1-2 or hasn't won yet, just shake it up a little.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. I need
So
to
let
make that
me.
move.
So I did bench the big one that I'm going to get questioned on is for those who just going off of namesake. I did put in, since I have the OP instead of the flex, I did put in Geno Smith over Stroud against Tennessee. So Geno Smith against Chicago. Come on, Geno. Come on. Yeah. And then so once my wife, she has to bench CD Lamb because he's going to be doubtful. She'll probably put in Olave or probably Olave or Romeo Dobbs. I'm not sure which one she's going to do there. Or T. Higgins. So she's got some options for her receiver spot. But we'll see. We'll see. Jalen Waddle's probably going to have a big game against the Jets because that's pretty much. I mean, I know they have Hill, but he's not really focused all that much this year, I don't think. So Jalen Waddle's kind of been the guy. But I'm really scared against. She has Jonathan Taylor, and
Hmm.
he's good. He's good. All right.
He is
Well,
good.
anyway, so that's our fantasy freak off. That was such
Yeah,
a
I
freaky
don't
show.
I'm looking at the teams now. I don't know who I would trade. See, do I do something like where I would try to trade for Evans or Lamb while they're both hurt? So right now they have no value, but I could potentially stash them like I did Judkins for when they come back.
I mean, you could
That's
potentially do that, but do you have room on your bench to do that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I would be trading away 2 players. I would keep one or then in one in return because I have too many wide receivers and running backs. That's what I'm saying. Because this is where the boys become men, right?
Yeah.
That's and then they form a band. And that has been
I still have Boys to Men on cassette.
the fantasy freak off. And now it is time
So for
for
those of you just listening, the
don't
picture that
tell them.
I
Don't
can't tell him.
no. If you want to see what it is, watch the show. If you're just listening, just imagine what it could be when I say fantasy freak off. Now it is
It was
time
the
to
elegance of which the it was the elegance of which the liquid was in. So great. All right, continue.
that was baby oil. For that's the clue for people just listening. Now it is finally time for the good, the mid, the ugly NFL Week 4 edition casino. Lot of good games this week. Lot of dare I say sneaky good games this week because we have a lot of big team matchups and I think we should start let's start with the good. Well, actually, no, let's start with the ugly and work our way up to good. So the biggest ugly game is back to back on this list right here. First up, 0-3 Saints at 3-0 Bills. Who you got in this one, Casino?
Real quick though, I am also monitoring my Arsenal team. They're playing in the Port Val Cup right now, and or they're playing in a cup right now against Port Val. It's in the 69th minute. Nice. All right, so moving on. What'd you say? The Texans? Is that what we're saying?
No, Saints and Bills.
Oh, Saints and Bills. Yeah, this is definitely an ugly game. This is my blowout of the week. I know that's what the Bills should have done last week against the Dolphins, but it is going to happen this week because I mean, the Dolphins they still have decent players. They can be feisty, but this is just going to be an absolute slaughter, just a slaughter. And I do think that I do think, however, Rattler can play well, but I just can't trust anybody else on that team to do anything against the Bills. And we've already seen it even when the Bills play, they're still good.
Well,
So
even when Josh Allen plays, they're still good
yeah, they're still
because
good. Even
James
when he
Cook has
busts
gone
his nose
off.
open and whatnot, yeah, he's still good. So yeah,
Yeah,
the spread is 15.5 on this for the Bills. And you know what? I I would take that.
I would too. I think
Yeah.
this is gonna.
I
I
think this is
also
like a
picked
three
this.
touchdown game all day.
Yeah, I also picked this as my blowout of the week. I think after what we saw Thursday night against the Dolphins, and that also means the Bills will have a rest advantage in this game. It's going to be at home. If what we saw against the Dolphins, and then we also see them having a close game against the Saints, then I think
With extended rest.
yes, extended rest and at home. Then you see them have just a weird close game against the Saints. Then I think we will have to start sounding the alarm
Mhm.
about the Bills. But if the Bills blow them out, I think there will be people being like, oh, this is the best team in the league without question, no debate. Like, let's go with the Bills. So this is my blowout game of the week. Again, you said it's 15 and a half. Honestly, if it was 20 and a half, I would still debate within myself if I would pick this as a 3 touchdown game. So I think this is the lock of all locks. And if it's not, and the Saints, even if the Saints somehow cover, then I think we might need to start having discussions about this Bills team.
Even if they
Uh,
cover.
next up, I think this one could potentially be in mid, but I'm going to put it in ugly because I think it will be an ugly. The 1-2 Browns at the 2-1 Lions. I would only put it in mid based on what the Browns did last week. But like you said on the TikTok,
Which what
we trust Jared
they
Goff.
did okay in 3 minutes of the game?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Well,
no.
they did okay the last 3 minutes of the game, which is how they
Yeah,
won that game.
yeah.
But again, I think what you said with on the TikTok is spot on, which is we trust Goff much more than we trust Love. Love coming into the season, even when they
Mhm.
were 2-0, we had discussions about if Love can be consistent, if because every year he's been a starter, we've seen him hit peaks and valleys pretty much throughout the entire season. So the last week the Browns showed us their defense is great, but last week the Lions showed that doesn't matter the both coordinators left. They
Yeah.
look like they haven't skipped a
And, you
beat.
know, the Packers defense last week, they did what they needed to do. It was also just a turnover, you know, the turnovers late were the issue for that Packers team, and that's not on their defense. Their defense was stout. So I just
Yeah.
can't trust the Browns to yes, I'm not 100% sold on the Lions defense, but the Lions 100% Jared Goff will 100% beat Browning and beat Joe Flacco in a shootout.
Yeah. Uh I again, this should be a blowout. This should be a blowout. If this one is closer, I wouldn't be as concerned for the Lions as I am for the
No, I
Bills because
think
at
it's going
least
to be
we've seen
closer.
the Browns have
Yeah,
good
so
games.
it's 9.5 for Detroit, but I think this is going to be closer than what a lot of people think it's going to be because the Browns still have a good defense, but I don't really care for the Lions defense as of late. So I think the Browns can put up a little more points than what they have done. But the Lions are just going to outscore. That's what it is. So
Yeah,
I think that 9.5, I think it might be a 2 touchdown game, but that could be very easily, you know, a 10-point game right there in my mind.
Yeah, the Browns, as of this moment, heading into week 4, do have the number one total defense by like a wide margin. So the Browns right now currently have the best defense in the NFL. Their offense actually better than I thought it was, 22nd in the league. So
Yeah,
not
because they have
not
Father Time
great.
playing for him.
Not great, but good. And also, again, when are we going to see? I would like to see Dylan Gabriel on this Browns
No. I
offense.
mean, yes, but, I Joe Flacco just looks so good with that peppered beard, like that salt pepper beard. It just looks great.
Yeah,
He
but I'm
looks
saying
great.
they have Judkins now turning into a real NFL starting running back. And I just want to see, I think a young rookie quarterback's best friend is a good running back and a good O line. Browns have both. So put him in. Why not? But then again, maybe they do think they can just win every game like they did against the Packers last week. So we're both going with the Lions, but I do think this would be a closer game than a lot of people think. Next up, the ugliest of ugly games, Casino. 0-3 Titans at 0-3 Texans battle for last place in the
One
AFC South.
Yeah.
So, who you got in this one?
Does it really matter? Does it just, like, really matter at all? Um, I am gonna go this is my upset pick of the week. Houston's favored by 7.5, which I just don't get because I've seen more fight and grit out of the Titans team than
Yeah,
I have seen out of the Texans team, and I'm gonna lean on that heavily. That I mean, yes, Cam Ward's receivers and all the offensive players that he has are just literally nowhere, right? I mean,
yeah,
Ridley is not doing anything. All that money they spent on him, he's doing nothing. They also got Lockett. He's doing absolutely nothing. Um, and then Pollard, and you and I both have that same feeling on Pollard that he's never been the guy, and for some reason people think he's the guy. He had like what 1 or 1.5 good seasons in Dallas, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's taking over. He's taking over." I've never really been impressed with the guy, so
no.
I am still going to go with the quarterback that I feel like, yes, he's not performing, but he's not as frustrated. He's understanding he's a rookie and he's doing what he needs to do and he's still learning. CJ Stroud just doesn't look like he wants to be playing football right now.
No, you could say that about the entire Texans
Texas
offense.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
I'm
Texans,
going Cam Ward. This is my upset pick of the week.
I mean, honestly, that's a good upset pick of the week. And the points per game for this Texans team is astounding. It's like ridiculous. This team is averaging 12.7 points per game. So that means they're
Yeah.
averaging less than 2 touchdowns a game.
Right.
That
And then
is insane.
you say that, right? The total over under for this game is 38.5, right? So
That's
that
crazy.
leaves 26 points that the Titans would cover. Like if you're going off of the average of the Texans, that I mean, how can you not pick the Titans in this game? The
Uh,
Texans can't score. And
Well,
I will take a team that is fighting and is gritty and understanding that they have a rookie quarterback and they have talent on their team. They have the talent. I just can't see how the Texans win this game when they just don't feel like they want to play football as a team together. There's just doesn't make sense.
The the Texans right now have scored obviously the least amount of points in the entire league. Second would be the Saints, who have scored more than the Texans have per like are averaging per game.
With
So
Rattler.
the Saints have scored a full game more worth of points from the Texans than the Texans have currently scored. Now, my heart says the Titans. Obviously, because the start of the season, Titans, Raiders, and Panthers were the teams that I was just rooting for as like the underdogs of this season. Also, the Brian Callahan, who I think I called a doofus yesterday, he has given over play calling duties for the offense to his offensive coordinator. Will that be
About
the
time.
spark? Well, yeah. Will that be the spark that ignites this Titans
Yeah.
team? I think it
Let
will
the
be.
let the coach that you hired for that position do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing that turned the Eagles around, where it was just like Sirianni was calling offensive plays, the offense sputtered, and then they were like, "What if we let the offensive coordinator call the plays?" And then they went to 2 Super Bowls because of that decision. So, I am right now I'm picking the Texans against my heart
Safe pick.
because
Safe pick. Safe pick.
well, the Texans are at home, and if this is a game they don't win to get their first win of the season, this might be a team that doesn't win a game all season. We both picked the Texans to win the AFC South. Obviously, that is out the window 4 weeks into the season. It's going to be the Colts or shockingly the Jaguars. But the Texans defense is good. The Titans defense is bad. So this will be an ugly game. It's actually my pick for worst game of the week. I think this game will be just bad, bad. I just think this will be, if we thought Cardinals 49ers was bad last week, this could literally end up being like a 10-9 game. And where nobody scores, because obviously the Titans have nobody on offense, nobody can catch. You and I both have never liked Pollard. And he had 2 good seasons on the Cowboys. I just looked it up where he
It was
had
about season and a half.
yeah,
Yeah,
where he had a
what I was saying.
1,000 yards both those seasons. We also forget 2 years ago at the Titans, he had 1,079 yards. But again, I just don't like Pollard. I don't like anybody on either of these teams. We've talked about this game way too much. It's your upset pick with the Titans. I'm going worst game of the week with the Texans. And this will be a game I will begrudgingly watch because I'm rooting for the Titans, but I won't enjoy it. Next up, Casino, on our game, or our ugly games. I think we have to do the 3-0 Chargers at the 0-3 Giants for the simple fact that this is going to be Jackson Dart's first start of the year. And we both think that this is just going to be a multi touchdown blowout by the Chargers.
I agree. Yeah, Chargers are favored by 6.5. I love everything that Harbaugh's been doing with this team. I said it in the TikTok. I listened, and Colin was saying it as well. And you know how much I love Colin Cowherd. And it really makes sense that you need to start having this discussion. You have Bill Belichick, you have Andy Reid, you have Lombardi, you have all these amazing coaches in history. You have to put Jim Harbaugh in this conversation. You have to. He has
Yeah.
won with every team he's been at in both college and pro. He is just a winning coach. He just wins. That's what he does. Like,
Not only does he wins with all different styles of offense,
mhm.
quarterback, defense is always like good and smash mouth no matter who he has. It's yeah, like you
I
said, it's impressive.
It's so impressive, and when were talking about that on the herd, it made so much sense. It just made so much sense that you have to at least have that conversation, and you can't say otherwise. In my opinion, there's no way you can say otherwise with what he's done at every level with every kind of team that he's had. Yeah, so Chargers, I don't think we need to talk about it anymore. Justin Herbert looks great. He's finally looking like the player that he was supposed to look like the last 3 years. So he's finally broke out. I love the Chargers in this, and I'm excited to see Jackson Dart. I think the Giants have a good quarterback with Jackson Dart. I'm not saying great, not saying I think he's a good quarterback, and he will still be a rookie, but I think that you need to give him a shot because I think he is capable to being at least a good quarterback in this league. Do I think he's ever going to be a superstar elite quarterback in this league? I don't think so. From everything I saw him from in college and what he's done in like preseason and whatnot, I am excited to see him try to be at least a good quarterback in this league, a starter
Well,
for some team.
yeah.
The Giants is perfect for him.
Well, also, I think now with the replacement of Russell Wilson with Jackson Dart, I think you look at that Giants offense, and if you're a Giants fan, you go, "We got the rookie Scattaboo. If Jackson Dart shows us anything, he'll be better than what Russell Wilson was." And we have Malik Neighbors, maybe a better O line than we thought we did. You have Tracy as your backup
And
running
our
back that
defense is
you
not
thought
awful.
yeah, your D line is good. You have Robinson also receiving Slayton. I think if you're a Giants fan, you go, we have a really young offense that has a bunch of young guys on it that are easy to root for, that are exciting to watch play.
Mhm.
And you just go, hey, maybe next year we keep building on this defense. We get Jackson Dart reps this year. Next year, you're going in being excited that this young team is now kind of has a year under their belts. And who knows? I mean, we see teams go worst to first every year. I mean, the back end of the Giants defense is bad, but that's a thing you address in free agency, you address in the draft, and then who knows? And like you said, if Jackson Dart is, I mean, he just has to be slightly better than Russell Wilson, and they're going to be in these games. So there you go. I'm picking the Chargers because obviously the Chargers are the better team. And like you said, Harbaugh is a much, much better coach than Dayball. So I'm picking the Chargers. This should be a blowout, but I will be watching this strictly to see what Jackson Dart is because again, I think he's like you said, he has the potential to be a good quarterback in this league. Next up, when we go to ugly games casino, I think the only other one we have is the Monday night game, 0
I
and
think
3 Jets.
you have to put that in because they're both 0-3. Do I think
Yeah,
this might be a competitive game between two struggling teams that need a win? Yes. So you could potentially talk me in this being a mid, but they're 0-3 for a reason, man. They
yeah.
just can't finish off games. And I I'm gonna go the Jets. I like just the roster with the Jets a little bit better. And then the at least they're with the Jets, at least you can see that they're still giving a shit, and the Dolphins just don't seem like they care. You got to hit your mic. You hit it.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what it is. And I think when you look at this Dolphins team, we thought they would be quitting on their coach and just, we heard all the things coming out of the locker room. And then all of a sudden, Mike McDaniels actually calls a great game against that Bills team
Yeah,
on
he was
Thursday
fired
night.
up. He knew that he needed to show up for that game, or he could have possibly been gone. If that was the blowout I thought it was going to be, he would already be gone.
I agree. And now there's talks where it's like, hey, maybe they keep him and just reshuffle the team around him and just, maybe get a new quarterback,
Get rid of
see
Tua,
maybe see what this team is when you get a quarterback that can throw the ball past 5 yards. Uh
a
I
quarterback that can see further than 5 yards. I mean, I'm sure his vision's all blurred after all the concussions.
I mean, that's honestly a hot take, but good take. I could see that. So I am going with the Dolphins. It's at home. I think they showed a lot of fire last week. And again, with the Jets, it's still going to be Tyrod Taylor, who with that offense is just good enough to keep them in games, but I don't think good enough to win games. However, that being said, if the Jets win on a last second field goal, it wouldn't shock me. I'm going Dolphins on this one. This was going to be my pick for worst game of the week, but upon further review, I think this will be a fun game between two bad teams. So I'm going Dolphins all day. Now we move to our mid games where a lot of these games live.
Mood.
And
Right.
I think the definition of a mid game is our first game we're going to talk about. The 2-1 Commanders at the 1-2 Falcons Casino. This game screams mid, uh beyond mid levels. This is the definition of what a mid game is. We have a backup quarterback with the Commanders that's still a little fun to watch as they were last week. We don't know what we get with the Falcons. Every week it seems like they play a different game of football. So, who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go Washington in this game. I just can't trust what the Falcons did. I mean, you laid up a goose egg against a bad Panthers team.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good. I mean, we expected a good game with against Tampa, right? Because they just always them and Tampa just always play good games together as of late. Um, I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders. I liked what Mariota did. He came out, he still showed that he's still a viable backup in this league. And he actually was pretty impressive. I'm a little worried about the health of some of the Washington players. McLaurin, isn't he gone? I think you said he's going to be ruled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not great. And then yeah, I think Merritt is a little bit banged up as well. So you got kind of a healthy Atlanta team that is struggling versus a banged up Washington team, but yet with a backup quarterback. But yet I'm still gonna go Washington. Washington's favored by a point and a half, and they're still good. They may be old, they may be falling apart, but I'm still going to take them.
Since yesterday's game, we were both perplexed how the Raiders lost in the way they did against this Commanders team. I watched that replay of that game yesterday. I still do not understand how the Raiders lost as much as they did to this Commanders team. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it
when
was all
Geno Smith
turnovers and
played a
rushing.
really great Geno Smith played a really great game.
Yeah, it's confusing to me. Also, what is confusing to me, tell me if this makes sense. Looking at the raw
No, it does
numbers
not.
for this Falcons team, they are 31st in the league, only above the Texans in points per game. They score 14 points per game. They do, however, have currently the second highest time of possession with the football of any of the other 32 teams.
Wow.
So they have the second most time of possession and are scoring the second least amount of points. That makes no sense whatsoever. You think it would be the opposite. So they're holding onto the ball a lot on offense, going up and down the field and not scoring because they also have the 13th most yards per game. So again, they're a good offense that moves the ball up and down the field, but then scored the second least amount of points. That makes no sense whatsoever. And
Does
for
not.
that reason, I'm going to
You're
do my
out.
Shark Tank. I'm out. I'm picking the Commanders.
Sorry,
Uh,
I ruined it for you, but
no, but you
mm,
knew where I was going with
yeah.
it. Now you look at the Commanders, 20th in total defense. This Commanders defense was bad last year. They're worse than they were last year, and somehow they're still 2-1. And after this week, I think they're going to be 3-1. We have so many 3-win teams that I just think are bad teams. It's crazy. Like, or after this week, we're going to have so many three
But then
win
again, we
teams.
have had a lot of juggernaut teams playing each other early on in this season. So,
That is very true. And I think by
and there's
week
a
10,
lot this week too.
yeah, I think by week 10, we're going to kind of see the separation of the good and bad teams. But you're right. The first month of the season, they're all kind of jumbled together. I think the Commanders after this week will be 3-1, and I don't think they're a good team. I think that defense is bad, and this offense is not only injury prone, but just weird. Weird. And still they're blowing out the Raiders. So make it make sense. Nothing in this game makes sense. We're both going Commanders on this one. Next up, how about you pick the next one, Casino? Which one do you think is
Um,
the next mid game?
let's just go. Let's go to mine at 10 a.m. on Fox. What do you think? So, I think it's a pretty good mid game. The Panthers coming off of a big win, 30-0 against the Falcons, which is huge.
Oh, that's the
Uh,
thing we didn't talk about with their last game. How the hell did the Falcons lose 30-0 in that game with the second best defense in the league? It makes no
so
sense.
there was a thing where it was like the first time I saw it when I was at physical therapy for my quad with the tears that I have, right? I was watching the TV there. Apparently, that was like the first time in I think it said 2 to 3 years or something like that, that a team did not play an offensive snap in the opposing team's 30. Like
Yeah. Uh,
wow.
again, nothing with the Falcons, that Falcons team makes sense.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's
No-
just wild. So
They have the second ranked total defense and they just gave up 30 points. Still,
yeah,
no sense.
no sense. So moving on with you got the Panthers, you got the Patriots, you got the game of the PPs. So I'm going, I don't know, just the P. I when I look down back at the screen here and the notes for it, I just saw both capital P's. It just made me laugh. Anyway, I'm a child, everyone. So you got the Patriots, Panthers. I'm going Pats in this game, not because I'm a homer. The fact that the Patriots were within a score to being able to win that game against the Steelers, and they had 5 fucking turnovers, and the Steelers still only put up 21 points. I don't know if that was a worse game by the Steelers or if that was just like I don't understand what happened last week. I've said it many times. I said it last episode. Both of those teams should be 1-2. Because if you go 5 turnovers, you don't deserve to win that game. So I am picking the Patriots this week. I do think they get it done against the Panthers. The Panthers are a worse team than the Steelers. I like the Patriots. I like their run defense and everything with their pass rush. They're able to get and disrupt the quarterback. They're a team that is, they might, I think, even be leading the NFL in sacks, or they're close to it. I think that was something that came across the TV, which kind of shook me. While I'm talking about them, you can look that up for me. Just do
I
sack
wasn't
leader
even
for the
paying attention to what you said.
nice. Look up the sack leader, team with the most sacks this year. But I trust the Patriots. Yes, I don't like their secondary with Christian Gonzalez being hurt and Davis being banged up as well. But I can't see Bryce Young flinging the ball over the offensive line. Um, he will lob the ball up too high. And with the only problem I have with the Patriots, outside of yes, their turnovers last game, is their secondary. I think that they will get it done this game. I think they'll get it done, and I like the 5.5. I have the Patriots by a touchdown easy in this game. I think a touchdown is really good for them, and yeah, I'm going to go the Pats. I just don't trust the Panthers, even what they did to the Falcons last game.
So your New England Patriots are tied for sixth with one,
Okay,
two, three, four, with with three other teams for 9 sacks on the
got it.
season.
I knew that they were doing good in their pass rush, and going against the Panthers, who I don't trust their offensive line that much. I think they'll get to him. I think they'll get to Bryce Young, and if Bryce Young has to throw the ball up, that that gives the secondary a chance to make some plays on it. So Patriots all day, Panthers. Sorry, I want my team to go 2-2 because teams that go 2-2 have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
That'd be so funny if the Panthers
That would
win
be
and then
insane.
technically they are in running to win the Super Bowl. So when you look at this Panthers team, their defense is allowing or is getting the least amount of sacks in the entire league. So
Mhm.
their defense has only had 1 sack on the entire season. Now, when you look at Drake May, he has been sacked 12 times this season, which is insane because in comparison, Bryce Young has only been sacked 5 times.
Yeah, that's
So,
4 sacks a game. The offensive
yeah,
line, they have a lot more to go. I haven't been super impressed. Yeah, so he if he has time to get the ball out, I think he's gonna be just fine. He's had to make some rush throws, and I do think Travion Henderson is he's gonna get the start because Gibson and Stevenson can't hold on to the ball. I think Travion Henderson gets a start and he's going to protect the football. This is his time to become the number one back, which I thought he would be by the end of the season anyway. So his time's coming early, and I think that he will run all over this Panthers team, and that will open up the passing game for Drake May. Um, so that's where I'm at.
yeah, the Panthers right now are one of the only 10 teams that have allowed over 1,000 yards on the season. They are allowing also some of the highest points per game, yards per game, all that kind of stuff. The Panthers defense is bad. It's one of the worst in the league, even if it's what is it, behind teams like the Cowboys, Giants, Ravens. Just when you watch this Panthers team, you just realize how bad their defense is. Their offense isn't much better, but it is definitely better. Again, they don't sack the quarterback, but they are tied for third in the entire league with interceptions. I'm picking your Patriots because it's at home and your Patriots should win. I think again, this Panthers team is bad. And if this Panthers team going in to week 5 is 2-2 after how bad this team has played, even after a 30-point win against the Falcons, I don't know. Is the last game against the Falcons where they turn it all around? I doubt it, but yeah, they're 2-2. I don't again, they're 1-2, I'm sorry, and their one win was a 30-point blowout. Nothing makes sense in the NFC South. Literally nothing. Uh Next up, let's go to another mid-game casino. And also that was a good pick for a mid-game. That is a great mid-game. That might be the poster child for mid-game, where there's things you want to watch in it, but you don't think it's going to be a good game. Speaking of there's things to watch for, but you don't think it's going to be a good game. I'm putting the 2-1 Jaguars and 3-0
All day.
49ers in the mid. There's no way somebody can say this is going
I'm
to be
not
a good game.
excited for this game.
No.
Again, so I'm going to pick the Niners. They are at home. And the reason why is I think the Jags could possibly be leading this game going into the fourth quarter, but
Yeah.
I don't trust Trevor Lawrence to finish off a game. And the Niners are the night. So I'm having trouble saying the Niners are going to be 4-0 after this week. Oh, I got it out.
Ugh.
Sorry, I got it out. Whew.
Yeah, Mac Jones, 4 touchdowns, 1
Again, I
interception.
never disliked Mac Jones. I felt bad for it. You can go back and look at all the podcasts. I remember saying all the time, I feel bad for Mac Jones because he was getting nothing but different coordinators and different coaches consistently in his entire time in New England with zero help around him. And
Yeah.
so I mean, going to Shanahan, no matter what we say, and if the Niners go 4-0, you already promised you would give Shanahan you give him a little prop that they're going to go 4-0. I think Shanahan with Mac Jones just works because he needed a very stable offensive coach with pieces around him. Look what Mac Jones can do when he has some help and he has some stability. So I'm rooting for Mac Jones, just Mac Jones, to do well because it would prove what I had been saying about him is you needed structure when it came to the offensive coaching, and you needed a few pieces around him to get him out of like a third down, 3rd and 7 kind of situation. So that's where I'm at. Mac Jones, he's gonna show up, he's gonna do okay, and they're gonna finish off the Jaguars, who will be leading in the 4th.
Yeah, it seems that Brock Purdy returned to practice today as of 30 minutes ago. Ricky Pearsall will be out for the game with a knee injury. So this is why, like Casino said, I will give credit to what is it? Shanahan if they somehow manage to win this game because at the moment they have no Pearsall. They're just going to have Jennings, Bourne, and then a bunch of guys you've never heard of. Obviously, they still have Christian McCaffrey, which is the, you know, piece on this team that makes the world go round and makes Mac Jones and Brock Purdy's life a lot easier. Now, on the flip side, Trevor Lawrence is having a bad year. He's thrown only 55% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's got a 70 quarterback rating. And again, the body language on this team is weird. There's footage in all these games of Brian Thomas Jr. yelling at Lawrence or just not caring, Lawrence yelling at Cohen, his coach, and all this kind of stuff. This team is weird. I don't know how they're 2-1. It would be even weirder if they somehow were 3-1. But it would also be weird if the 49ers are just losing star players every week and go up to 4-0. So I don't know what to make of this game. That's why it's in mid. Honestly, we could have probably put this game in ugly if we really thought about it, because I think this is going to be an ugly game that is going to be borderline unwatchable, which makes no sense how these teams have winning records. But as of right now, it's mid, and I'm going the 49ers. If they start 4-0 with this team, I will legitimately be shocked.
And
But
pissed.
yeah, it'll just I have no idea. Let's move on to the next mid-game casino, which is the 1-2 Bears at the 1-2 Las
1-2
Vegas
Raiders.
Raiders. Raiders, again, I don't know how they lost the way they did last week against the Commanders. Bears, I don't know how they won last week. Uh, or yes, I do. They played the Cowboys and they absolutely them up. But they're not playing the Cowboys every week. They're playing the Raiders this week. I'm taking the Raiders, and the Bears get taken back to reality. Even that being said, the Raiders' total defense is 24th in the league. So their defense is bad. The Bears are worse because they're 29th in the league. So I think Geno Smith had a good game last week. Genty hopefully gets back on track or just starts to get on track this week and runs all over the Bears. I'm going Raiders.
That's fine. The Raiders are the right choice here. Like if there wasn't a certain circumstance, I would be choosing the Raiders. I'm going to choose the Bears. My coworker, who I've talked plenty on this show, he is going to this game with his family, and I'm really hoping that because they're flying in from Chicago, I'm really hoping that the Bears get a win for him. And last week, I finally felt like there was a middle ground between Caleb and Ben Johnson, where they were able to figure out your ad libbing with my structure. I think they figured something out. And that would be kudos to Ben Johnson because obviously Caleb Williams, he can't figure shit out still. And I think Ben Johnson had to kind of dumb it down for him, not calling Caleb dumb. Just again, He's more of an ad libber. He's more of like a Patrick Mahomes kind of style, but without the precision of his passing game. Um, so I am going to go Bears in this. I'm hoping that what they did last week figured it out. I still think the Raiders should win this game and are going to win this game, but I am going to pick the Bears. That is my pick, and it is solely because I want that win for my coworker.
That is very noble of you. Very noble of
I'm gonna
you.
punch him in the face. I see him tonight for a work event that we're going to, that our work's putting on, that I'm gonna tell him that I'm picking his Bears, and I'm going to be very pissed if they lose, and I will punch him in his face.
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders. I think what is lost to this now, last
I'm gonna
game, you
beat my
can't.
wife, I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm a very violent person today,
Yeah,
apparently.
you're very aggressive today.
Aggressive.
But Caleb Williams on the season, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 63% completion percentage. It's good, but again, those numbers are heavily inflated because of the game last week against the Cowboys where he threw 4 touchdowns. But still, the numbers don't lie, even sometimes when they do. Now, the Raiders, on the other hand, their defense is bad. That O line is bad as well. Geno Smith has been sacked 12 times on the season. He's still got an 84 quarterback rating with 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Uh, Again, I'm picking the Raiders, but this looks like a game between two teams that are bad. So that's why it's in mid right here. Last couple mids before we get into some good games, Casino. But the I think you have to put this in mid. The Monday night doubleheader, the second
Bengals,
game,
Broncos.
Bengals Broncos. Bengals 2-1, traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos that are shockingly 1-2. Uh, do you think the Broncos finally start getting on the winning side of their record?
I do, and that is mainly because the teams that the Broncos have lost to, they're undefeated right now, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, so you have the Chargers and the Colts, and they should have beat the Colts, but there was that dumb leverage call. I'm going the Broncos, and I know that their defense has been struggling, and we expected their defense. I expected their defense to be one of the best, if not the best, in the league. But the juggernaut Colts and the Chargers, who are just putting up points like it is nobody's business, they look great doing it. The Broncos just have a tough schedule this year. They're getting ready to get into some easier games. They do have your Eagles after this game, but they are going to absolutely mollywomp the Bengals. The Bengals defense is bad. The Bengals team is bad. The only reason that they are somewhat relevant is in just all in all is because they had Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is amazing with his connection with Jamar Chase. They played together in LSU, right? They are such a good duo. They are on track. They know what the other person's going to do, and that is so vital. But guess what? You don't have that. And last game, it showed because Jamar Chase only had 5 catches for 50 yards, and the majority of that was off of one play. There was like
Yep.
27 yards were off of one play or something like that. So over half. Browning is not the guy. I feel really bad for this Bengals team, for their fans, because this organization won't do anything with a one of the best quarterbacks in this entire league, which is Joe Burrow. How they have not done shit for him is mind blowing. And Jamar Chase, arguably the best receiver in the league, and they won't do anything to make this team better. The Broncos are going to absolutely annihilate this team. Bo Nix, he's playing well. He's just losing to really good teams, and he's losing to good teams by a couple points, right?
Well,
So
the
the
Broncos have lost both their games by a combined score of 4
4
points.
points, yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's gross. The Broncos are good. I am not wavering on that. The Chargers now might win the division just because they got off to the hotter start and they have the tiebreak currently, right? They could even
Over
out.
the Chiefs and Broncos. Yeah.
Right. So I am still picking the Broncos to have a really, really good season here. They'll turn it around. Again, they've barely lost these games against two teams that are undefeated. So I am going to pick the Broncos. They're going to absolutely make a statement saying we are still good. Yes, we're 1-2 right now, but they're about to go 2-2, and 2-2 teams can't win the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's what I've been told on this podcast.
Yeah. I don't know how
But
many times I have to say it.
also, Bo Nix, people keep saying he's having a bad season. He's got 5 touchdowns, 3
He's not.
interceptions, 83 quarterback rating, 64% completion, and 71 rushing yards. Again, like you said, against 2 teams that were undefeated, and then a team they beat in the Titans in week 1. So the Broncos being bad take has been completely overblown, as much as the Broncos are going to be the best team in the league was overblown before the season started. The
I never said they were
Broncos,
gonna be the best team. I just said
well,
they were gonna win the
well,
division.
by all metrics at the start of the season, the Broncos were projected to be one of the best teams in the league because they were top 5 in every single category. And still, going into this game, they're still a good team that just got the raw end of the stick on in 2 games where again they lost by a combined score of 4 points. The Broncos defense is still good. They're currently ranked 19th, but again, that's because they've played 2 of the best offenses in the league back-to-back weeks in the Chargers and Colts. So I think this is a make right game for the Broncos. I
Mhm.
think they kind of get back on track. And like you said, 2-2 going into week 5, that leads you to being a perennial playoff team, which I still think both you and I have the Broncos being. So they're going in, they're finishing a rough stretch of their schedule. I think they start reeling off some wins maybe after that Eagles game, but they'll win this one, lose to the Eagles, and then start rattling them off. So the Broncos will be 2-2 after this game. We're both picking the Broncos on a just awful Monday night game, awful Monday night slate. You have this game and then Jets, Dolphins. Yuck.
Yuck.
Uh, Next up, is there any mid games left? Oh yeah, there is. Sunday night football. Honestly, this should have probably been in an ugly game.
Yeah.
In the ugly mix. 2-1 Packers at 1-2 Cowboys. I think I might retroactively put this in ugly because without CD Lamb, what is this Cowboys offense going to be? This
No.
Cowboys
Yeah, you're
defense
right.
worse
Th this
worse than
this
the
should have
league.
been in this should have been in the ugly.
Yeah.
This definitely should have been in the ugly. And I don't think it's we're going Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
We're going Green Bay because without CeeDee Lamb, that offense is just going to be a mute point, and they're not going to do shit. Again, Dak is a good quarterback. We're not saying that he's not. He's a good quarterback, but he needs his security blanket, which is CeeDee Lamb currently. So it's done. And they don't have a running game. So, and they got one of the worst defense in the league. So Packers, they're going to come back out swinging, and we know what Love can do against bad defense, and that's what's going to happen because the Packers defense is probably going to not let the Cowboys score more than 10 points with CeeDee
Yeah.
Lamb out.
Well, also all the points per game, yards per game, all the offensive stats for this Cowboys team is heavily, heavily inflated from that one Giants game.
Hmm.
Because outside of that Giants game, this Cowboys team has what? They scored 20 points against the Eagles, and then they what is it? Put up 15 points last week against the Bears and lost. So take out that Giants game, and it is, the numbers are heavily skewed to just being bad. So defense also, but see, the defensive numbers are not skewed by that Giants game because their defense was also bad against the
Hmm.
Bears and Eagles. So defense is bad, is the worst in the league currently. Their time of possession, offense, yards per game, again, will heavily be affected by the loss of CeeDee Lamb. So I think this is the perfect make right game for the Packers coming off an ugly loss to that Browns team. They're going to play. They're going to go 1 week from playing the best defense in the league to playing the worst defense in the league. I can't believe this game is on Sunday night. It's going to be and also Packers have just historically played really well in Dallas. If we remember a couple years ago where they went in there and just put up 24 points in a playoff game in the
That
first
wasn't,
half,
yeah.
in one of my favorite playoff games ever that didn't include my team. So yeah, this should honestly, we're retroactively putting this in ugly. This is going to be a bad game. Last game I think is in mid. Actually, no. You know what? We're gonna put it in good.
Viking
Uh,
Steelers.
let's talk Viking Steelers as our first good game here, Casino. The 2-1 Vikings at the 2-1 Steelers in Dublin.
Hmm.
So this is technically a Steelers home game in Dublin. Who you got in this one? What are your
First off,
thoughts?
I know a really good Dublin joke,
Oh
but
God.
it's not good for the air. So
Oh.
moving on. So moving on.
That was actually gonna be my question, is can
No,
you say it on the air?
no, not yet. Um, so moving on. Yeah. So this is Dublin, 8:30 or 6:30 in the morning for us here on the West Coast. This is where we get screwed over now. I know that you have a lot of the late games over in the East Coast where they have trouble watching and finishing games. I will not be up for this game. I will definitely not be up for this game because I close on Saturday nights. I probably won't be home until
Me
about
too.
1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Ain't happening. So in this game, this should be good. This should be a good game. I am going to go Minnesota Vikings on this. I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to expected to be playing. If I recall right, I think Wentz is still going to get that start due
Yep.
to the ankle injury in quotation marks for JJ McCarthy. I think they're going to lay on that pretty heavily. I don't trust the Steelers again. I think they should still be 1-2. I think both teams, mine and the Patriots and the Steelers, should have been 1-2 after that game because you have 5 turnovers and you still only score 21 points. You suck. So, with that being said, I like what the Vikings team did last week, and I like what their coaching staff can do with quarterbacks. They did with Sam Darnold. I think they can do that with Wentz. They've already shown Wentz had a good game last week. I'm going Vikings. This is a long travel game. It's going to be a nasty, ugly game. And I just don't know. Yeah, you know what? I just don't think Aaron Rodgers' bones can handle this flight. I don't know. He's just going to be all old and he's going to be, I mean, he's in Dublin, right? He's going to
That's
go
true.
off and party and do his thing. Obviously not. I just can't stand Aaron Rodgers. So go
Yeah.
Vikings. Yeah. Score.
So Aaron Rodgers on the season, 97 quarterback rating, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. Went in
More
his
than
one
half of that was because of the Jets game.
I mean, that is true. But Carson Wentz last week, 130 quarterback rating, which is insane. That goes to prove your point about how good this Minnesota Vikings team is, just with their offensive identity, especially with reviving quarterbacks. Everybody else in the league didn't even take a flyer on. So I do want to see the Wentz resurgence. I
I
do
mean,
think it'd be really fun.
Wentz has 3 Super Bowls, man. He's great.
That is true. And what is
Bench
it?
for all of them.
Uh, I would like to see just a Wentz resurgence. And like you said, I don't think they're going to be rushing JJ McCarthy back anytime soon. So I am picking the Vikings on a game. I'll probably wake up at 9, so I'll catch the last quarter of this game. But yeah, I agree with you. The West Coast version, the West Coast watching football is the best because all the games start at 10. The worst is when they have the international games that start at 6:30.
Mhm.
That's too early. That's crazy. But then the East Coast people, the game starts at 9:30. Why don't we push this game back to 7? Maybe I would watch it if it started at 7, or maybe I'd get up at 8 to watch it, but no. I will, but like you said, I will not watch 75% of this game just because it's too early and Papa needs his sleep. Next up, let's go with our good game, which is the Thursday night game. We will see tomorrow night. 2-1 Seahawks at 2-1 Cardinals. For I believe this will be for to be one of these teams will be tied for first. One of these teams will potentially be tied for first. One of these teams will potentially drop to last place in the NFC West. That's how close the NFC West is.
Well, yeah, because the Rams are
Unless
2-1 as well. Yep.
yeah. So who you got in this one? It's in Arizona, Thursday night football. Who you got?
I am going to go. No, because the Niners are going to win, and the Niners will be yeah,
4-0.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, at
So
before, because this game takes place on Thursday, they'll be
yeah,
tied till
I mean, this
Sunday.
is the best division in football currently, right? You have 3 teams 2-1, and then you have the undefeated team with the 3-0. And
Yep.
I'm going to go Seahawks in this one. And that is because I'm going to, 2 reasons. One, I'm going to stick with the pick that I said at the beginning of the season that Seahawks are going to win this division. I don't know how the Niners are undefeated. I don't know how the Cardinals are 2-1. And I know the Rams are 2-1. I know why they are because they are the good team and they should have been my pick for this division. But the Seahawks are feisty. I like them. Sam Darnold looks good. Um, this team has the makings of a playoff contending team where they could even win a match. They could even win a wild card match or the first divisional round in this. in the postseason. I really like the Seahawks. I think they're feisty. I think everybody's looking overlooking them. The fact that this is only 1.5 for the Seahawks going into Arizona is mind blowing. Cardinals, the Cardinals have not played a team like the Seahawks yet, in my mind, right? So I mean, they did with the 49ers. They lost to the Niners only by a point, the Cardinals, but they beat the Saints only by a touchdown. They beat the Panthers by less than a touchdown. The Cardinals are not that good team. They're going to go in, and I still think Seattle's better than the Niners and better than the Cardinals. So I think Seattle's going to absolutely. I The 1.5 is crazy to me. I think this is easily a touchdown game.
Yeah, I think, especially again with what we've seen from Thursday night games in the past and even this season, all these games are ugly. They're close. Especially when they're division games. I think we're going to see a lot similar thing to what we saw with Bills Dolphins last week. Right now, the Seahawks are fifth in the league in points per
Mhm.
game. So they have a top five offense. Their defense since the second half of last season has been vastly improved to when they were, again, when Geno Smith was there, they were the 32nd defense in the league and just one of the worst defenses we've ever seen. Past couple years hasn't got much better. All of a sudden last year, halfway through the season, they just turned it around. They're currently the 14th ranked defense in the league. We've said it before with the Cardinals. I don't know how this team is 2-1. I don't like anything from what I've seen from this Cardinals team. Kyler Murray is very hot or cold. I don't trust him to win close games. Even though he has 4 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season, I just think history has proven he's not that clutch of a quarterback. And yes, this is me hating on the Cardinals. I just don't like this organization. I love the Cardinals team. I don't like the players and coaching staff they have in that building right now at this moment. So biases aside, I still think the Seahawks are the better team. I'm going Seahawks all day. Uh, let's move on to our next one, Casino. Also, you picked Vikings in that Vikings Steelers game as
Yep.
well, correct? Okay, that was the only one I was missing. Now for another good game. Uh, Maybe the game outside of my game I'm most intrigued by, and that is the 3-0 Colts at the NFC West 2-1 Rams in Inglewood in California. Who you got in this one, Casino?
It's going to shock you. I'm going Colts here. I think Indiana Jones goes 4-0 and the Rams move down to 2-2. And that is not hate on the Rams. I think they're a good team. They're expected to win this game by 3.5. This point total is over under is 50.5, which is
That's a
really
lot.
right on par where I think it should be.
Yeah.
Um, I just like what Jonathan Taylor's been doing in the backfield. I really like what Daniel Jones, he's been commanding that offense. He knows what he needs to do. He's protecting the ball. Again, last game was the first time, and it was like middle of that game was the first time they had a punt in 3 games, which is
Yeah.
insane to me. So, I mean, that's never been done before. That broke history. Daniel Jones is now in the history books for that, which is awesome. I like the Rams. I like Stafford. I like everything the Rams are doing, but I'm going to go with the red hot Colts, who are 3-0, and they are dominating. And the tipping point for me was last game where their defense just absolutely rocked. And I loved, I mean, again, I say it a lot. I loved every second of it, but they played the Titans and, Cam Ward, not great, doesn't got a lot of weapons, but he looked good. Like, I mean, that defense looked good, and
Yeah.
they were putting a lot of pressure on, and that was why I think I have the Titans as my upset pick. Is they played well against a good team. Yes, it was 41-20, but the Colts are just so good right now that that's what you kind of expected from that game. I think this is going to be an absolute just shootout, and it's going to come down to the last play of the game, the last drive of the game, and I think Colts get this pulled off.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this Rams team right now. Obviously, they beat the Titans in week 2 in kind of a blowout, but everybody beats the Titans in a blowout. They won an ugly week 1 game against the Texans by less than a touchdown. And then last week, again, people, when they talk about the Eagles Rams game last week, they only talk about the blocked field goal at the end to lose that game, but they don't talk about how they scored 26 points in the first half, had a commanding lead going into half, and then didn't score a single point in the third or fourth quarter against an Eagles team they had on the ropes for almost all of that game. They had the lead in. So that is something where I think on the flip side, when you look at the Colts, they've blown out two of the worst teams in the league in the Titans and Dolphins. And then they just found a way to win, even if you don't agree with how they won with the leverage penalty and all that. They found a way to win against that Broncos team. This is what good teams do. They blow out the bad teams. They find ways to win against the good teams, which Casino and I both think the Broncos are still a good team. Daniel Jones, 6 touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 rushing, 0 turnovers on the season. He's completing almost 72% of his passes. Again, that Shane Steichen offense that took the Eagles to their first Super Bowl against the Chiefs is just being replicated in Indianapolis, and it's working with a guy in Daniel Jones who has very similar traits to Jalen Hurts. He was just always on a bad team. So I believe in this Colts team. I think this Rams team has been overrated since they lost that divisional round game against the Eagles, where everybody was like, oh, the Rams play the Eagles in a different game like that, and they win it despite them losing 3 completely separate ways to that same Eagles team. So I think we're overrating the Rams a little. I still think we're underrating how good this Colts team is. They are
I'm not.
second in the league in yards per game, points per game, and third in the league in time of possession. And again, their defense, nobody talks about. Their defense is great. Top 7 in the league. So top 5 offense, top 7 defense. That is legitimately a Super Bowl caliber team right there. Now, I
Yeah.
know it's only 4 weeks into the season, but as I said last week, I had the Colts as the 7th best team in the league. This week, they're moving up because right now I'd take the Colts over both of the teams we're talking about next. The Ravens I had ahead of them. They won't be this week because
Mm-mm. The Ravens have dropped far for me.
me as well. But it's still going to be a good game because of the teams and quarterbacks involved. That's why it's in the good. 1-2 Ravens at 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs. One of our last 2 games. Who you got in this one, Casino?
I'm gonna go the Ravens in this one. They are favored by 2.5 in a 48.5 over under. I just the Ravens have lost close games by stupid mistakes. And
Mhm.
Lamar Jackson has been playing phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And Derrick Henry, he is playing well outside of those 2 fumbles that cost him 2 games. That's just the reality of it. This team can be easily 3-0. Um, Now with the Chiefs, that I can't say about them. They look ugly, and they were one strip away from Patrick Mahomes. There's somehow Mahomes was able to grab it back from the Giants player. That this team could be 0-3. I can see the Ravens already being 3-0 and the Chiefs being 0-3. I
Yeah.
don't like what I see with the Chiefs. They look very discombobulated. Like I said, the whole of going into the season, that Mahomes is going to be running for his life the entire time. We're seeing that the the easy throws that he could be making, they're not connecting. Him and Travis do not seem to be on the same page this year. As of right now, that could change. They're a great duo, typically, right? So they just seem off. The timing seems off with everything. He's throwing backwards passes that are into the ground and luckily recovering. There was 2 last game. I just This team just looks flustered. This team just does not look connected. Andy Reid is over on the sideline and he just doesn't seem to be showing much emotion. And
And Travis
I'm
Kelce's showing too much.
and Travis Kelsey's
Yeah.
showing too much. I
Yeah.
just I just don't I'm worried about the Chiefs, and again, I'm happy that the Chiefs are losing. One, because it goes with my pick of the Chiefs not being able to make the playoffs, and I hope that stays alive because that's a big. Everybody's calling me crazy before the season starts. If that hits, everybody can shut up and suck it. And yeah, but I do have the Ravens in this because Lamar's just playing. He's playing like an MVP. He is playing like
Has
an MVP. He
10
could be the
touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 0 turnovers.
yeah.
That's crazy.
He's playing extraordinary. 3 games in, right? Extraordinary. That I can't see them losing another close game. Derrick Henry, just hold on to the football, man.
Well, that's the thing. Derrick Henry is also having a great season, but he also has fumbled in each one of those games, and each
He's
one of
had
those fumbles has been very
decisive.
costly. Yeah.
Um, and so the one thing I was gonna say from earlier, and I said I was listening to Colin talk about this, is the Ravens offense is so good that they score so fast that their defense tires out and they're on the field way more than that offense is. So that could be an issue. And that's probably why, like a good golf team with the Lions just put up so many points. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going Ravens. Chiefs, they're going to lose another one at Arrowhead. Another decisive game if they do go on a streak that they could, you know, they don't have the head to head against rivals that they are going to need to get the number 1 seed and not going through Arrowhead. Good luck.
Well, also, again, to say what we've said about other teams when previewing these games, they've lost the games the Chiefs have lost, they've lost by a combined 9 points. But again, their one victory was against the Giants in a 22-9 game that never felt like it was a blowout or 22-9. That felt like a close game.
Yeah.
Again, I agree with what you're saying about the
And
Ravens.
losing to the Eagles at home, and that was their Super Bowl, as you were, alluding to, that they needed to win that game since they lost so badly to the Eagles, and they still lost this game. I mean,
Yeah.
we expected to be close, and they lost that game. I think that was the dagger to them because you could throw the Brazil San Pablo game out the window in division, right, with the Chargers, and it's a funky game to start your season, out of the country. That one you can give them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's tough. But then you should win against the Eagles at home
No,
in a
you should.
revenge game.
Yeah, I mean, also the Rams should have won their revenge game. You just don't beat Jalen Hurts.
I told you. They're
But
going to go undefeated until they lose to the team in the AFC team. It's going to happen.
oh, I would hate and love that. Actually, I don't want them to be undefeated going into the Super Bowl. That's too much pressure.
No, yeah,
I would hate
trust
it.
me, it crushes your soul.
Yeah.
It crushes
Uh,
your soul.
as a Patriots fan, you're the only one that knows.
Dude, I sat there when that happened and I was just I didn't move probably for 20 minutes.
But as far as this game goes, I'm also picking the Ravens. I think in KC, we've seen what the Ravens, again, the Ravens have also lost by a combined score of 9 points to two of the best teams in the league in the Lions and Bills. They've lost dumb ways, they've lost by
Again,
turnovers,
I'm
they've lost in
there's
shootouts. I just
there's
don't think the Chiefs offense can go toe to toe with the Ravens in a shootout. It's
no,
just not going to happen.
it's just not going to happen. So we're
And
both
that
picking the
Chiefs
Ravens on that.
Yeah, and the Chiefs defense this year, again, Patrick
Told
Mahomes
you.
has always had a very good defense. The Chiefs defense this year is 11th in the league, and that still seems like generous compared to what we've seen from this Chiefs defense.
Mhm.
Ravens defense, on the other hand, 32nd in the league in total defense, 31st in the league, only
Woo!
behind the Cowboys. So
Oh,
they, but again, that's
oh,
playing the Bills and the Lions. That's like
yeah,
to be
too high.
expected.
Yeah.
Last game
Last
on the
last
docket.
game.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, this is, in my opinion, the Eagles Super Bowl. The
This is the
Eagles
best game of the week here.
also, this is my pick for best game of the week. The Eagles know they can beat the Rams and the Chiefs. They do it all the time. What the Eagles do not know is that they can beat the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers beat them all the time. It feels like the Bucs just have the Eagles figured out. And again, they have that home field advantage where it's hot and humid, and the Eagles always play against them for some reason in Tampa Bay. Never get to see what an Eagles Bucks game looks like in Philadelphia because it's always in Tampa Bay. I am going with the Bucks in a reverse jinx. The Eagles are 9-9 against the Bucks all time. So these teams go back and forth. The last time the Eagles beat the Bucks was I don't know where it says the This is weird. Okay, but yeah, so the Bucks have won 3 straight against this Eagles team. Last time the Eagles beat the Bucks was in 1991. So that's or no, that can't be right.
No, that
No,
can't
no,
be right.
no. That's not right.
So while you figure
But go
that
ahead,
out, I
since
will
you
give
know.
you my pick. My pick is going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks, and solely because they have their number as of late, right? And I just love Baker and his comeback wins. This team wants to fight and win. And I know the Eagles have been doing the same. I really think this fourth quarter is just going to be a comprised of just a nothing but 2 minute drill by both teams. It's just going to be 2 minute drill after 2 minute drill after 2 minute drill. And they're just going to go blow for blow. And it's going to come down to pretty much who has the last possession. That's my thought on this game. That's what I think it's going to be. I This is going to be such a fun game because both of these teams know how to fight back and get back into games and win close games. And not just this season. I mean, they've done it this season, but last season as well. I'm excited for both of these teams. And I really, I, for my pick's sake, I hope it is the Eagles so they can stay undefeated, right? That's a tall order, but I want the Bucks to just win this game. I want Baker Mayfield to just be the guy for once. Like everybody's talking about Baker. Everybody's right now going like, "Oh, he's playing much better. He's playing much better. This Bucks team is pretty good." He's in that conversation, and I want them to beat the defending Super Bowl champs who have won 19 of their last 20. And I want everybody to be like, "Finally, Baker's great. I'm going to start watching more of his commercials."
So I looked it up. The Eagles are 1-6 against the Bucks in their last 7 games. 2 of those losses were in the playoffs. 4 of them were in the regular season. The last time they beat them was 2023 in a 25-11 game. So they have beat them in the regular season in Tampa Bay. But again, the Eagles, when you look at how good they are against all the other teams in the league, and then to be 1-6 against this Bucks team, Todd Bowles has figured this Eagles team out. Vita Vea is
Yep.
the way to stop the tush push because they don't have a successful tush push against any other team like they do against the Bucks, who just know how to stop it. Again, I'm going reverse jinx with the Bucks, but I think this will be an ugly game. I think this will be a gritty game, like you said. Hopefully, that Rams game for this Eagles just made them figure out this offense, and they do whatever they did in the second half to put points on the board and avoid doing whatever they did in the first half to that puts no yards or points on the board. The Buccaneers also this year have won their games by a combined 8 points. So it's not like they're blowing teams out.
No,
Every
they just
single one of
know
those
how to
games.
win.
Yeah. And these are 2 teams that have great offenses,
I know Mike
really
Evans
good
is out. I
defenses.
know Mike Evans is out, and that
Is
hurts.
Godwin going to be in? I
I
don't
don't
think
know,
Godwin's in.
but I still trust in Baker. I just trust in Baker.
So let's see the Godwin injury. He's aiming to, as of 5 hours ago, he's spotted at practice and aims for a return in this game. So they won't be without both their first guys, but obviously they'll be without Evans in this game, who actually kind of the last couple times they played has been shut down by the Eagles. So it's not like Mike Evans lights up the Eagles.
No,
It's
but he takes
usually
a
a
defender
defensive.
away because he takes a defender away because they're typically doubling him.
Yeah. So Evan or Mike Evans being gone gives Eagles life in this game. Now, again, my heart and head are saying the Eagles win this game because I think they're the better team. My I'm trying to use my voodoo curse to, like I did with the Rams and Chiefs, to make the Eagles win. I'm going with the Bucks. I think this is the best game of the week. This is my choice for best game. uh so as we have it now, the 3 game difference, there's a 4 game difference in the lead. Casino has 34 points. I have 30. Going into this game, or going into this week, we have 3 games different. Texans Titans, Raiders, Bears, Dolphins, Jets. So three of the worst games of the week. Casino and I are going different on almost every game. We agree on blowout of the week, which is Bills over, it's the Saints, correct? Bills over the
Yeah.
Saints. We believe, I think the worst game is going to be Texans, Titans. That's also your upset pick.
Yeah.
We both
That's my upset.
believe the best game is going to be the Bucs Eagles. And then which one do you think is going to
Dolphins,
be
Jets.
Dolphins Jets? You're picking worst game. So those are our picks right there. 3 game difference. So at least one of us will win the week and we won't tie it like we have the past couple weeks. But that has been this week in the good, the mid, and the ugly NFL Week 4 edition. Long episode, one of the longest ones we've done. Now we were so good at being just an hour on the dot. Now every episode we do is an hour and a half. So there you go. Anything else to
No,
add
because we're
before we get
giving
out of here,
yeah,
Casino?
because we're giving the people what they want, just more random bullshit to
That's
start the
true.
show.
We did spend almost half an hour just talking about the most random shit ever. Also, I just realized I didn't put up any of the TikToks we recorded yesterday or I did, and they got no views because it was too late. So nobody heard my Eagles Rams Disneyland story, which should I tell here? Do we just let that just live in
Just let that live.
just let it live. So this has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. I will see you Friday with what is it? Our NFL rankings, power rankings. Also, Casino maybe will send me his power rankings this time so I could talk about them on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll see you
I'll do that right
Friday.
now.
There you go. I'll see you Friday for power rankings. Me and Casino will see you Monday after week 4. Adios. Oh no, I said it too early and I don't have our outro. Quick Casino
Do,
vamp.
do, 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 do.